Hey all, Hipper here. So this is the third Martel video in a row here, and that's going to be the end of it for a while. And this is Ru again with Shirley in Baltimore and Takao and all the usual perks along with fully packed. And let's just have another look here at stats. 1.9 rudder and 37 knots. And of course that's before the speed boost. With that you can get in excess of 40 knots. So a very, very agile cruiser here. And don't underestimate that speed there. You can use that for so many things, and that's what I'm going to show in this video here. Now this is not a damage video, this is more a utility video, whatever you want to call it. We don't get any medals or anything like that, but we get healthy XP, and we do a lot for our team in this battle here. So in Martel, I don't know if you've noticed, but I always pop on the speed boost when I start out, because then it also improves my acceleration. And that's important in the beginning here, because usually I want to get in to the thick of it fairly quickly. And we're already overtaking the destroyer here. You look up behind me, the Kurfürst is reversing, and he's going to reverse so far that he gets stuck on the island behind him. And right now it looks like the destroyer is heading in with me, which is perfect. But in a minute he's going to veer off to the right and actually go behind the island, which makes no sense, because the only thing he gets out of that is he's going to stop spotting for me. Not that he's doing that at the moment, but yeah, there's no point in that. And I think there are 4 legendary battleships in this battle here, so it's about not getting hit basically, and as you can tell, everyone else is pretty much leaving this cap here behind. So I'm going to head in and see if I can cap it right under the noses of the whole team over here. And of course, once I accomplish that, if I accomplish that, I need to get back out again. And that is the area where Martel does really, really well. It's just so good at kiting. So we'll get to that in a moment. First, we just need to take this cap here and just hide behind this island here for as long as it takes, because we still have 50 seconds to go, and so far there's no one from the red team on the flank that's able to reset me, so that's perfect. So I'll just stay here, and then I'm going to cap, and then I'm going to pretty much run away after, because Martel is not very good at hunkering down and holding an area like this. If I was in Hipper or Edinburgh, something like that, I would just stay here and let the enemy come to me. But in Martel, nah, it's not safe. All they have to do is come around, and any battleship would be able to citadel me completely. And I don't have enough torps to take them out, so it's not a wise move to keep sitting here, because sooner or later the Reds will push. So that's the cap down solo cap here, the first one. And I'm not really that interested in this cap here. I just took it because I spawned on this side and no one was really defending it, so I mean, why not? Let's just take it. And then at least the red team has to waste time taking it back from us. And in the meantime, we're going to account tickets from this cap here, so it's fine. But I really have no intention of sticking around to defend it, because as you can see, there are 3 or 4 ships approaching, and I'm pretty much on my own here. So that would be a foolish errand. And so I don't have my speed boost anymore, so I'm heading out. And I was just hoping to get a good citadel on the Cleveland there. Unfortunately, I don't. So this is where Martel gets to show off how agile it is, and what a fantastic kiter it really is. Because I am pretty much just running for my life here. I'm going to head back, and then I'm going to try to take B, because I have no support on this flank here, and like I said, there's no point just sticking around, because it will fall sooner or later. So it's better to head in towards B here and help the guys in here deal with that destroyer, because as you can see, no one's pushing in. The battleships are all sitting behind a rock and keeping them from firing, keeping them from spotting, and just basically in general keeping them from being useless at all. Well, not useless, but keeping them from actually being of any use at all. And that's very typical for legendary battles like this, unfortunately. So I'm getting a bit of distance here, and I don't really have to worry so much anymore about like eating an unfortunate salvo. It's mostly the guys who switch to HE now. Another thing that's typical for a legendary battle is that the ships that actually cap are cruisers, and tier 7 cruisers at that. And that also happened in this battle here, especially if you go back a little bit and have a look. You can see that both A, B, and C were being capped by blue cruisers at the same time, while every single battleship just sitting back in open water, except for the bunch of battleships close to B that are just well, sitting in a lump behind a rock and yeah, not contributing basically. So I just gotta get around this Kurfürst here now, because he's in trouble now. He's sitting in open water. He hasn't positioned properly. He wasted his opportunity by reversing all the way to the pretty much the edge of the map. And yeah, I have more important stuff to do than to babysit him basically. So I'm moving towards B. And then at the same time, I can pretty much hit the enemies trying to take C while I'm heading in towards B, meaning I should be able to perhaps reset them a few times if I get the opportunity, but it's not that important. Like I said before, I don't really, I never really expected to hold C, because there's so many red ships on the right flank here, and like I have hardly any battleships over here, and also I don't know what the destroyer is doing, but who knows. So now we're moving in towards B, and nobody wants to cap it. I'm assuming they're scared of the destroyer in there. And this is why we really need some more cruisers at legendary tier. Because those battleships are just not going to move until we have a decent destroyer hunter. And I guess Worcester is okay, but yeah, it's just not my kind of cruiser. It doesn't have torpedoes, and it's just really, really stale, I think. Not my kind of thing. And I don't think it's very good at its job either. The same with Alaska. Like, we need something really, really good and fast and agile, like Henry IV or Sau or perhaps Minotaur. I don't know. If it's anything like Edinburgh, yes. But I doubt it's going to be as tough as Edinburgh is. But I guess we'll see. It can't be long until we get Minotaur in the game. So yeah, interesting what it turns out to be. So if you look at what our destroyer is doing on the right flank, I made a good call of pretty much giving up C, because the only way I could hold that flank was with some sort of help from my destroyer, and that's very unlikely, judging from where he is at the moment. So instead, I'm pretty happy with my decision to go for B here instead. At least then I can get rid of the destroyers over here that's at least trying to hold this cap here. And then perhaps, maybe even my battleships will join the fray, who knows? So I mean, in some games you get to like get high calibers and Confederates and Krakens because everything just works out your way in Martel. And then some games like this one, you pretty much just have to play the rabbit the whole game through, and well, hopefully, just hope that your teammates are able to like to play off what you're doing. And sometimes that's of course like just not happening, and you're going to have a terrible battle. But in this case, it's okay. I don't have the greatest support at all, but the red team is also not the best team ever in the history of Legends. So we finally made it into B, and just have to cap. And we've still kept A, which is very, very good, because otherwise I would have to head over there next, and then I would probably lose B in the process. And yeah, in a battle like this where you have 4 and sometimes 5 legendary battleships, a more defensive approach in Martel is usually the right pick. Like, I know I didn't play particularly defensive in the beginning because I rushed in and took a cap, but I did have cover, and the way the enemies were spread out, I was pretty safe there. But a salvo from a Yamato or a Großer Kurfürst, it will absolutely, well, if it won't kill you, it will citadel you and it will hurt a lot, and it'll take you out pretty much of the battle because you just take so much damage. That's also why I'm a little bit hesitant to torp this Yami here. Had I been in Hipper or Edinburgh, I wouldn't have a problem at all. But Martel, I just need to take one shell through the bow, and then yeah, it's good night, especially with less than 6,000 hit points left. I don't even have to take a citadel, and I think a penetration will do from Yamato, and then I'm gone. And like I said, this is a rapid game, and you can do pretty much anything that's asked of you in Martel because it's just so versatile. I think it is probably the most versatile you can get a cruiser if it doesn't have a radar, of course, because it just does everything well. It's so fast, and you can play the destroyer role if you really have to, and it's excellent at killing cruisers, and it's also very, very good at burning down battleships. If you just get enough peace and quiet to do it, it won't take you long to burn a legendary battleship down. If you get good, like fire starting RNG, that's always the issue there. So if you use Roux, the commander, on Martel like I do, then heading in, taking a cap, and then running away while defending it, that works pretty well. Pretty much the same thing as I do in Atago, except you have less torpedoes to defend yourself. But like Martel is just like the DPM you can pump out with the guns while you are either evasion tanking or kiting away is just magnificent. So in that aspect, it's actually better than Atago. On the other hand, if you play the ship with Le Monnier, which some people do, then to stay at range and use that incredible HE DPM there to devastate the enemy team. I find that a little bit boring, but that's why I go with Roux. And like I said, this is a ship that you don't see very often. To my knowledge, I think only myself and MetaJerk plays this ship with any sort of like regularity. I don't see anyone else actually putting a lot of videos up with it. And that's a shame, because this is a great cruiser. It's a fantastic cruiser. It is still one of my absolute favorites. I know I have a lot of favorites by now, but it's really, really good. As long as yeah, you don't take hits from legendary battleships, you're gonna have a great time in the ship. The only thing this ship needs is a premium commander to run it. Someone who does something like spectacular with the speed boost, or whatever, who knows, like someone like Beepley or Soundwave on Amalfi. That would be excellent, because I've been running Roux on this ship forever, so something new would be nice. So here we just take a blind shot at this lightning because he just disappears as we were about to kill him, but luckily I do hit him, so just a free kill there. And I tend to play this ship in bursts. Like I take it out one day and then I just remember, oh, this ship is so great, I love playing it, and then I play it for a week or something, and then I get sick of it, and then I pick up Edinburgh, and then I play that for a week, and then I play like Hipper, and it kind of just goes in a circle like that. So it's nice that we have so many tier 7 cruisers to choose from now. So I would love if the same was the case for legendary tier, but that is definitely not the case. You can choose between two, like, in my opinion, dreadful cruisers that just make legendary games even more boring, and they're already very, very boring. So a legendary tier really needs some sort of cruiser to spice things up, and like Martel's big brother Henri IV would be a good, a good ship to do that. So that's Martel here in a capping game and a rapid game, pretty much. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you out there.